Okay, guys, I'm a little bit early. Only a couple minutes. So, we are just gonna sit for a couple seconds or two. I should have waited. I'm trying something new today. I'm recording the stream at the same time. Hi, Judy. I'm a little early, so I'm gonna piddle around here for just a minute. I'm recording the live stream so that hopefully I can chomp out the part about the Totally Junk Journal and put it up as a separate video, due to the fact that a lot of people are wanting to play along and they don't want to watch the whole live stream. So I'm going to see what I'll do. Anyways, I'm going to work on this book a little bit while we wait for a few more people to get here. What are you doing this afternoon, Judy, besides playing along with us? I'm this is the book for these pages that I have worked on, and I don't like how the edge came out, so I'm going to wrap the edge with this washi tape. Is my plan. Okay, you can't hear me. You can't hear me at all, Diana? Or it's just very quiet? Okay, Lisa can hear me. Everybody else, is anybody else having trouble hearing me? If you are, okay, Diana, maybe try refreshing your screen. Hi, everybody. Oh boy, you're here all early, and here I was thinking I was going to get something accomplished before y'all got here. Hi. Okay, let's see. Barb's here. Lisa's here. Lisa Lane's here. Let's see. Diana's here. Judy's here. Becky's here. Mary's here. Janet's here. Yay! Everybody's here. And that's the other thing is, Diana, check your mute button, because I have mine muted. I keep it muted all the time. If she can't hear me though, guys, she doesn't know. So let's see here. I can't type in. I'm talking to myself, guys, as I type this. Yeah, Becky, I do that all the time. I keep it muted because I don't like to listen to it go ping, ping, ping all the time. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to give a few people time to get here, and I'm going to finally accomplish the edges on this, I think. I haven't decided exactly how I want to do this. I know this washi tape will not stick well, so I'm thinking. Hi, Derry and Katerina and Elise. I can hear. Okay. Diana, try turning it up. I was, if it had been me, I was speaking quietly, but everybody else says that they can hear me, so I'm thinking maybe you need to maybe turn it up a little. I'm going to see if this works, guys. We'll just... I didn't like how the edge of this came out. We'll do one side at a time, I think. I'm holding my tongue just right. Can y'all see me do that? Ha ha ha. I wish sometimes that this washi tape was stickier so that I didn't have to try to glue it down. Oh, Mindy, pop in? Oh, thank you, Janet. Yes, please, if you like this, do give me a thumbs up. I only got all my swapping. Yeah. Oh, I got something attached to this one here. I'm still cleaning up my mess. Oh, yeah. Becky or Jerry, I end up doing that, you know, I have it all piled in front of me. So. Besides Mindy, I hope I didn't miss anybody else that popped in. What are you guys all working on today, before or after? I know Becky's folding clothes right now. And Jerry told me what she's doing and I forgot already. Cleaning up the mess from last week's. Okay, that's right. She told me. I think I am going to let this dry before I try to fold it around. Hi, Ruby. Jerry, did you get caught up with the envelope, or I knew you were working on your first page for this project. Did you get your envelope caught up? Your pocket? Ah, to do your December daily? Yeah, I knew that that was not going to happen. I'd have to make it for next year. Mindy, I can just see getting a December, writing down everything in December. I still haven't sorted out November yet. Uh-oh, Jerry. I know how that goes. I hope the computer is sorted out. Hi, Sherry. I'm going to finish this one last side so this can dry, and then I'm going to show you guys some fun stuff. Yesterday was our anniversary, and I got the funnest card from Jeffrey, and I have to show y'all, but I want to finish this first so it can dry, so maybe later I can actually finish it up so I can put the pages in it. It's wanting to fall off the table. There we go. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to put this someplace where it can lay flat. Oh, where can it lay flat? Ha ha ha. You know, Jerry, that's why my husband always finds me a great big spot for my studios, because that way it doesn't fall into the house, and then it still falls into the house. Thanks, guys. It was 34. Yeah, and I have to show you this card. It's so cute, and it's not so much about everything that's in here, but this is the first part about it. Says that for telling me quite bluntly when my clothing looks absurd. When Jeffrey works around here, it's so hot, and his clothes become very wet and nasty. They're not even allowed to come in and live in the dirty clothes basket. He has his own special dirty clothes basket on the back in the mudroom. Those clothes are not allowed to touch my clothes. I'm so mean to him. I'm just so mean to him about it. So it's like, okay, and they have to be washed separate too because they're nasty. They're just, and, you know, Becky, you talked about the boys, your boys. Greg has got teared up their jeans, and you being able to use them. When Jeffrey transfers his good jeans to work jeans, once they're work jeans, they're no longer usable because they have paint and grease, and they're just nasty. Anyway, so that is just so perfect. But then I have to show you, it's not so much about everything that it says, but it's about what he wrote in it. And you have to see that it has a little pop-up. So, you know, it's kind of just perfect for me. But then down here, he writes, "Love always, Jeff." It says, "P.S. You can cut this up for art projects." Yeah, okay, Jerry. Ryan has his own basket. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only person who has. Oh, hi, Eva. I missed you coming in. I was reading this card. His own basket, but I just couldn't see this. I don't know if you guys can read it. I'm trying to move it around. So, you know, it's like too cute that he's gonna let me cut it up. So, yeah. Okay, Jerry, I'm really glad that I'm not the only one that makes their husband have their own basket. Ooh, nasty. Okay. Let's not put that there. Put that right there. Let me see. Oh, I know what's next. Sorry, I forgot what was next. Oh, I'm going to have to, Becky. I have to save that. I have to put it in something special for me. Oh, Eva, so great that you're watching me in the car. Just be careful. Don't drive anywhere that way. Yesterday, once a month I go to what's called the Santa Rosa Art Association. They do different art type things. They were doing acrylic pours yesterday. Anyways, one of the gals told us about the fact that there is a new scrapbook store opened in Milton. And when I first moved back down here, I hunted everywhere for a scrapbook store because they have things that the back stores don't always have. It's just like, you know, just odds and ends of things, and it's always nice. Nope, in front of Target. Okay. I'm glad, Eva. And Ruby, he's really sweet. He always picks really good cards too. He always picks the best ones. Anyways, when we first moved down here, I hunted all over the place for a scrapbook store, and there aren't any. They had all gone out of business, and you know, I didn't continue looking. So yesterday, after my meeting, I went over to the scrapbook store, and you can't really tell what these are, but these are Sizzix die cut things. And these are old ones. A lot of them are discontinued. Oh, it would help if I put the thing up. They're discontinued. But they have, in this scrapbook store, she's got a place where you can resell some of your stuff. And you have to understand, these things are $20 to $30 each if you can get these particular ones. And these were, this is large flowers, and you can, I don't think you can really tell what they are. This one maybe. But this is little tags. And these are some, it's called latches. The thing about it is these big thick ones you can cut chipboard with. And the little thin dies you cannot cut chipboard with. So I was like, okay, because chipboard is, you know, I like to use chipboard for different projects. And chipboard meaning double thickness of packaging. This one is a layered flower. But these were, they're mostly $7.95, but they were 25% off that. So I was like, I didn't buy them all. I may be sorry I didn't buy them all. And this one's a cute little heart. And like I said, I know you can't see them because they're just, the blade is buried. But then she's got rubber stamps too. And I don't have a lot of Asian stamps, and I'd like to do some Asian stuff. And these were $3.95 minus the 25%, and I don't think they've ever been used. Maybe this tree's been used. But so I had to show you my find. Eva, I think they will. It depends on the on what people have cut with them, because if that little blade that's in there gets dull, cutting material might not happen. It would cut material if it was, say, iron to Wonder Under. Yeah, Becky, chipboard is, you know, I like the fact that chipboard has two different brown sides. Anyway, so I couldn't pass them up. It was very bad girl of me, but I just had to do it. And I have to tell you that that, what do I want to say? I have to tell you that I have to do another haul video, because this last week I haven't been to the thrift store a lot, but we were, Jeff's dad's throwing things away. I mean, just throwing things away, and and we're trying to save stuff. And I have stuff that I brought home that you guys will be amazed by. So be looking for that this week, because I have to clean off the dining room table. It's covered up again. So then I got some happy mail. So this one is from Kendra, and I kind of have a sneaky suspicion what might be in there. So Kendra, thank you ahead of time. I don't think she's here, but yep, I was right. Yay! Look at these. Oh, guys, this is just, oh, yummy. And these are paper doilies. Kendra found a stash. I don't know how she found that wonderful stash, but it was great. So that's fabulous. Thank you, Kendra. Mindy, they had the machine at the store, but it'll go through my big kick. You can use those in the big kick. You have to put the plastic layer But yeah, I have a big kick. I have a big kick. A Sizzix big kick. You have to put the plastic layer on the top of this and then just run it through like this. Oh, thank you, Janet. You're so just on the ball. But yeah, these red ones, they look different because they didn't have the solid plastic back, but you can run them through just fine without anything. They're the same depth as the new ones, so they will work in my big kick. I think it's called Big Kick. It's a Sizzix Big Kick, I think. Which, by the way, if anybody wants one of those, I happened to notice that at Hobby Lobby the other day, they had, the one that they had was on clearance. So, they're normally like $149. I think it was $85. So, thanks, Ruby. I thought it was a good deal, too. Now, I think both of these are for the napkin swap. So, I didn't open them because I wanted to open them and didn't see if it was Happy Mail, but I think they're napkin swaps. And I have to be careful so that we don't have it. So I don't get anybody's napkin. Because, yep, okay, there's a note, there's napkins, and I'm just going to show you a peek. You guys don't get to see, but there's some pretty napkins in here. Oh, and a pretty card. This is from Catherine Deck. Oh, that didn't come. No, okay. It says Oz, so I wasn't sure if, but it's a postcard from Oz. And there's return postage in here. Yep. There's my return postage. She tacked it all in right there. And she says thank you and gave me her address. It's such a sweet card with the napkin swap. So that's going to go in my napkin swap bin. I think we're going to have a lot of people playing in the napkin swap. And this is Danny's, and I'm pretty sure this is a napkin swap too. And guys, I'm going to put that right there so you can see. If you haven't seen the napkin swap video, you might want to watch it. Oh, this one's got a side opening already. We'll just continue with that. Oh, pretty, pretty. Oh, I'm letting you peek more than I was supposed to, aren't I? And our return of postage. And this is from Danny. Oh, this is a good idea, Danny, to give me in a label. That way it's very well for me to see. Awesome. So we've already got 2 players plus me. That's 3. Now, guys, it's not due till January 4th, so... Okay, who all's playing with the Totally Junk Journal today? Are we all ready to do that? I know that Eva's not going to be able to if she's in the parking lot. Hi, Gloria. But it's 20 after, so I am going to get started. Okay. Elise is 1. Mary's ready. That's 2. Becky, are you going to play or are you folding clothes? Well, I know that two of you are ready. One of the things I want to remind you of is to be looking on the out, okay? Let's deal with, uh-oh. And Janet, for the napkin swap, okay, and, okay, Gloria's watching to do later. Barb, that makes 3. Jerry's 4. Becky's 5. Judy's 6. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about counting y'all. I'll just holler, and if you're not terribly ready, then we may go on without you. Janet, the big thing is that these girls have sent different napkins. You don't have to. You can send me 8 of the same exact napkin. So you only have to have 1 package to grow your stash. I don't care. You can send me different ones. You can send me 1. Okay, Mindy's taking notes. Okay, and guys, one of the things I did today, as I'm hoping it's going to work, is that I set my software to record so that I can cut out and maybe shrink the part about the junk journal. So if you need to re-watch some of it, or somebody comes in later, that I can actually put up a video that says this is page 3, etc., for the Totally Junk Journal. Okay, Eva, be careful driving home. You know, guys, I told you needed a big box. Okay, this, actually, for mine, this would work fine for what I want. Now, well, it would, but I don't like this cardboard. Oh, I just realized that. I really want you to have the thicker corrugated cardboard. So I was going to tell you this pizza box would work, but it's not going to. So I fibbed. You have to have a big box. Okay. Okay. I'm going to set this here for just a second. This is our basic supplies that we started out with. Last week we needed, oops, I'm going to turn this upside down. There we go. Last week we needed these supplies, and I'm just doing this for the video later, in addition to our basics. And for this one, we needed 2 pieces of junk mail the same size, and we're going to make some side pockets. We made a top pocket last time, and we're going to make side pockets this time. Thanks, guys. I'm going to try it. I don't know how well it'll work. We'll find out. So, now I was going to show you where my project stands. This is my first page that I made. And then I opened some plain envelopes so that I have some plain pages. Oops. And of course, it's just all sitting in here. And then there's my pocket page. And then I opened another plain page. So this is where it stands right now. And I may come in and watercolor some of these papers later, but that's where I'm up to. And today I'm going to use 2 envelopes. So I have 2 envelopes. One I already cut open. I didn't think about it. I was cutting things open. They're both just business envelopes, junk mail. Hi, Ruby. I'm glad you guys are. Okay, I'm going to close the envelopes with glue stick. So, can we see my paper? Yep. Mm. And I'm using glue stick instead of just licking it because I want it closed all the way to the edge. I want to turn these into 2 pieces of junk mail that are the same size. So I'm gonna now open the top of my envelopes, and you can use whatever you have. That if it's 8.5 by 11 pages, that's fine. Just 2 pieces that are the same size. And I don't know why I picked up the tiny scissors to cut this long piece, but I did. And this is how I open envelopes to use as my pages. As I just take a little tiny bit off of each. And now I have 2 pages. And I'm going to have to check. I don't think they're quite... Yep. They're the same size. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this side and this side, but not the inside. So guys, we're going to do these 2 sides, but we're not going to do anything here. Okay? So we're just going to do exactly what we did last time to get our base layer down. And just like last time, I cheated. I cut a bunch of stuff. I tore up a bunch of stuff ahead of time. Because I had some... It was about getting ready. So I am going to use my book pages and my security envelopes. I think it was Mindy used some music paper, which I thought was really pretty addition in there. What I like about this is that it gives me a similar color throughout my book. Yes, Becky, I cut the top. When I want to make pages, out of my envelopes, I glue my label down. Well, that's if they're not used. If they're used and they're ripped, I leave them ripped. So I cut this top part and I cut these 2 sides, and that gives me a page. Hi, Susan. You're just in time. We're just getting started. Okay, Becky? And that way I have pages for my book too. See, now this one, it was not glued. It was one that was ripped open, and I happen to like that, so I leave it. This one is just cut open. I didn't even glue the flap down on this one. These 2 I want to be the same size, so that is why I glued the flap down. Okay, Susan, that sounds good. It was you, Mindy. I thought it was you that I saw had added the music paper, and I thought that was a great addition. Now, we don't want to get these pieces too big again. I mean, they don't have to be tiny, but we don't want them huge. So just because that would block quite a bit of the... It would turn into a one big visual thing if it was huge. That's the only reason I say that. If you want, frankly, that I shouldn't say anything like that, because if you want them to be great big pieces, it's your book. and your paper. So okay, Judy, you have fun with that because that is way more important than this. Hi, Lori. Lori, are you going to play with us today? No, Barb, we're not gluing the envelopes together. We're using the envelopes as two pieces of junk mail that are the same size. Okay? If you had two, last time I used, wait just a minute. I had them, where are they? These are the pieces from Netflix videos. They're two pieces that are the same size. Uh-oh. Lori, that's not good to be that tired. Anyways, you can use something like this. What I want you to do, though, is I only want you to put your book pages on one side of these pieces. Does that make sense, Judy? Barb, if you're going to use envelopes, yeah, you want to cut the sides. If you want to use envelopes, you cut the sides and you cut the top so that you have a piece of mail. A piece of, basically it's turning this into a piece of paper. The envelopes are just my two pieces of paper. Barb, does that make sense? Judy? Oh, Judy's gone, but it's Barb I'm talking to. Sorry about that. Oh, I missed a little spot up here. I want to find something to stick up there. Sorry guys, I get quiet when I get to playing with the glue, and my fingers are already all stuck together again. And I go through these pages in my little book to use for glue quite fast, so this morning, just to be sure I had enough, I culled stuff out of a magazine. So Mary, if you're here, what two pieces of junk mail are you using today? Just to give me an idea of just to give other people an idea of junk mail. My fingers are all messy. Let me see. I'm using business bill envelopes. Okay. Well, the reason I just used envelopes because they were paper, Barb. The side, it was just 2 envelopes made a piece of paper. So I hope that makes sense. Thanks, Mary. My son sent us text messages last night, told us happy anniversary, and asked if we had fun. And it's like, okay, what did we do yesterday? Well, I went to a meeting. Jeff piddled around. He built some new bird feeder things because it's getting cool enough to feed the birds. Like we have a. Thanks, Mary. We have okay, Barb, thanks. I'm glad it makes sense. Mary, that's what I'm doing too. I will be putting both of the I'm going to be using these pieces of paper. I'm putting the print down, and I'll be covering both sides with my designs. What I started to say is that he sent us a message and said he hoped we had fun, well, for our anniversary, that it was a good one. And it's like, I went to a meeting most of the day. Jeff stayed home and built some bird feeders because it's time to feed the woodpecker some suet, that kind of thing. Then I went shopping a little bit on the way home, and Jeff bought himself some lights for his Jeep. I said I got to go back out and go shopping some more because those were way more pricey than what I got. Oh, Eva, that didn't take you long to get home. You can start and play if you want. I mean, we're hardly started here. Anyways, Jeff spent more on his Jeep lights than I spent at the store, so I said I got to go back to the store, and he just laughed at me. I don't think he takes me very seriously when he knows I'm going to go shop for whatever I want anyways. That one doesn't want to stick. Oh, and now I've got glue everywhere. Eva, it can be 2 envelopes or 2 pieces of junk mail. Just whatever 2 pieces of junk mail are the same size. So if you, hi Susan. So if you want to use envelopes, I'm just using envelopes because I had 2 that were the right size. If it's 8.5 by 11 pages, that works too. It can be whatever 2 pieces, 2 pages out of magazine would work. These get so thick that the magazine pages seem to work very well when you add all of this layer of stuff. Oh, this glue stick's terrible. I'll be so glad when it's all gone. I don't know. Everyone said that these Uno sticks were great, but I don't like it. It's soft and it gets everywhere, and yeah. Well, hello, Mark. Yeah, Gloria, an election flyer, as long as it's two, and you could take a big flyer and cut it in half. You just need two pieces. No, the sizes in this are whatever's in your junk mail box. So it doesn't matter exactly what size it is. Becky did ask me about the cover, and the cover is going to be based on whatever size your junk mail is. Because my first piece is pretty good sized, and I might end up, we're not going to do the cover until down the road so that we know how big our piece is going to be. So whatever size, it's just two pieces that are the same size. And that piece is kind of big. Oh well. And I will make it smaller by putting that on top of it. Does anybody else end up with paper glued to themselves? I keep getting my fingers stuck to things. I'm going to have to get out a baby wipe because my hand is so sticky. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to. Hi, Mar. Good thing Kat decided to take me over to... Oh! Okay, Mark, if you're going to, will you post that you're going to do a live later? Mark, are you playing along with this project? I haven't seen that you were. Mary, one side of each, okay? So this side, but not this side. So just one side of each envelope. Jerry, I was going to put a bowl and a rag actually on the table, and I keep forgetting to do that. Every time we do this, I think that, oh, I need to do that, and then I forget. But yeah, a plain out wet rag instead of wasting a baby wipe would be a good idea. Does your chamois stay wet though, Jerry? Because that's one of the things with the baby wipes here. The baby wipe doesn't stay wet. Go get one? I will, but I have to catch up. Mary's already got one side of her envelope done. I need to work faster. I'm just not as fast. I got a baby wipe too, Jerry. So I'll live. If we all hated sticky fingers, we shouldn't probably do what we do. I guess. I think it's Mary I watch that paints with her fingers. That I don't do. Thank you, Gloria. Uh-oh. Mark, my husband has started coming with the envelopes and saying, do you want this one? He thinks I'm crazier and crazy, but he asks if I want it before he throws it away. Well, actually, he usually puts it in the recycle bin, but... Okay, Mary, that sounds cool. You're using wet glue, aren't you? That's how you melt. You were trying to dry your. Shoot, I'll bet you she was trying to dry her page and melted the window. Okay, I'll have to. I know Jeff's got some of that chamois stuff outside. I'll have to see about grabbing some from him. Cause I don't know if, well, washcloth might stay. I have plenty of rags. I don't buy a lot of paper towels. We use rags. Okay, what do I want? What do I want? Okay. I need one more little piece right there. Eva, I'm guessing she's using one with the window. Just if you've got the window and you don't want to leave the window in it, you can just glue your stuff right over the top of it. It's one of those things that's not going to matter one way or another. And you can leave your window or take your window out. Now, that background is done, except I'm going to trim all of the edges off. And I'm going to work on this other background until everybody's got one background finished. So when you get one background finished, say ready. And I'm going to trim the edges off of this one. And start working on the background on my next one. There we go. Totally junk. That's right. That's right, Mary. Totally junk. So now I have one piece of paper that's the same size as this one, and I'm going to do this background too. Let's put that up. Oh, let's not put it on the wet rag. Gloria, if you could see my laundry room in my studio, they would definitely call me a hoarder, I'm sure. That I save so much stuff, and I've been collecting it at the thrift store too, which is, you know. Okay, now I know there we go. I knew I got out some more book page, but okay. Becky. Yep. That's right, Becky. Shh. We don't want them to think that that this isn't important supplies. These are very important supplies. We must have them and keep them. My fun part about this is you don't have to have a lot to do something fun. You can do it with a small amount of supplies. That doesn't mean I don't have those supplies or art supplies. No, Eva, we're just covering one side. Just cover one side of your... Thank you, Becky. Well, Gloria, that doesn't mean I don't spend money at the art store, but we are supposed to try to behave ourselves there. Aunt Beck did a spending freeze. I lasted about a whole month. I did buy paint because I was out of paint. But then I went off of my spending freeze, and that's when, well, I would tell you, but that's rude. But that's when the spending freeze just ended up gone completely. Yeah. His thought on it, Jerry, would be that, yeah, I'm saving money, but what am I doing? He'd be going, eh. All I can say is he might not understand it, but he supports me completely, and that's all that matters. I'm hoping we're going to get to go to the pound sale at the thrift store this week. It's the first Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the month, so we're coming up on that time. Okay. Elise is done. Yeah, Gloria, he is. I couldn't have been blessed with a better one. And I've had him more than 34 years now, so that's a major thing. This was our 34th wedding anniversary this year. Our son is 29. Okay. Yeah, Becky, I know. Oh, and Becky, when I realized what your middle name was, I was like, oh my gosh, no, another freaky thing. Is anybody besides Elise done? Oh, Gloria, I'm sorry to hear that, but that's a good run. That is a good run. I'm gonna get a drink. I told somebody the other day, Gloria, that if anything was going to go wrong, this last 2 years would have made it go wrong. To lose the RV in the wreck and to have to rehab this house, to end up sleeping on a floor for 5 months. If our marriage can weather that, I think it can weather just about anything. So, yes, Gloria, blessed. I agree. Not only that, I've got one that will do chores, and he's going to the grocery store for me because I wanted to do this. So after a while, he's headed out to the store. He doesn't do laundry because he's not allowed to. First time I caught him washing everything in hot water, I took that chore away from him. Yes, Gloria, they're kind of tests. Anybody else done? And you only need one side to be done for right now, so if you've got your one side done, holler up. And if you don't have, if you've got one side done and not both sides, just keep going until everybody's got one side done, because I'm going to show you the next step on that one side. And Becky, you're lucky because Scott he loves to go with you to thrift, and he's so cute. Does videos with you. Jeffrey was always going to learn to do beads, but so far he hasn't had time. He went from retirement to having to rebuild this house, so. Hi, Joan. Mark, well, I guess you wouldn't have any security envelopes, but you could just use whatever's in your scrap box to do this. You could use a couple of pieces of copy paper. It just dawned on me that you weren't playing because you said you didn't have any junk mail. Okay, Barb's done. Mary's done. Okay, guys, I'm going to set this first page, the second page aside. And now here's the deal. When we get these finished, when we get them both finished, we're going to put them together like this. And we're going to fold them in half. Now, they can be folded, just because this is an envelope that normally folds this way, doesn't mean that I can't fold it this way, which actually is what I think I'm going to do. So just because it makes it easier for me to see where I'm at, I'm going to put a fold in it. And this piece, when we get done, it's going to be folded the other way because we're making some pockets. But now, you know how we always do this thing where we, boy, I didn't fold that very straight. That's okay, we can fix that. We always add some color before we add our focal points. So where did my color go? Oh dear. I'm going to use some magazine pages, and what I pulled out was magazine pages that had blocks of color that I liked. Okay, this one's just black, but I kind of liked it, and I may use that on one spot. So this is just color, and I'm just looking at the big chunks of color that I have here. And what I'm going to do, no, this one, I just like the color that's right here, is I'm going to cut roughly 1-inch strips, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be exact, because you know we don't have a lot of fancy supplies, so we're just doing fun. Uh-oh, I missed. Hi, Dawn. We're going to make a pocket, a side pocket today, and right now we're just adding some color. And we're going to do it. And Janet is so funny. Hi, Beth Ann. Okay. Joan, did I say hello? I hope so. Yes, I think I did. Okay, and Dawn's here, and Beth Ann's here. Well, hello, everybody. Anyways, Janet, it was so funny the other day when you posted your ruffled pockets, because today I want to add, we're going to add this color by adding ruffles, okay? And I'm going to put my, I guess maybe I should go ahead and, let me trim this down and fold it so you can see where I'm going with this. It will be easier to see. Okay. Now we're going to pretend that Tanya is as fast as everybody else and that she's done too. So this piece is folded with the decoration on the outside. This piece is going to be folded with the decoration on the inside. See here? Like so. And then when we put it together later, not right now, but when we put it together later, it's going to be a pocket that goes right here. Okay. Bye, Gloria. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, I don't want to tell you a fan fold, because what we're going to do is a ruffle. So we're going to pinch and fold, and pinch and fold. And are we measuring? Not me. You know, I don't measure a lot of stuff. I'm just going to pinch it and fold it like so. Now, give me 1 second to finish this little piece, and I will hold it up sideways. See? Is that making sense? Okay, I missed something. Oh, yes, Mindy, they were fantastic. And Janet, I love the idea of the ABC journal. Mary does the ABC journal, but it's a little different. It had big ABCs. Okay, so this ruffle is going to go on our pocket right here on the edge, like so. Okay. So once I get to that spot, I'm going to just glue this to this one, because it's not long enough. Oh, it would help if I used the right end of the glue stick. And I'm going to stick it in there. And I'm just going to pinch and fold again until I get enough little ruffle piece to edge my pocket. Now, because, is this making sense to everybody? Ruby, that's fine. I just wanted those that were finished to be able to go on. So, because I'm still working on my second piece. I just didn't get it done yet. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get 2 ruffles that are long enough. And I have to make another one in a few minutes, so okay, so is this long enough now? Yep, it's long enough. And I noticed that since I cut it just, you know, by freehand, that some of them don't line up real well, so I'll just trim that off. And I'm going to glue this ruffle down to the edge of my little book. Did I just cut that off too short? I might have. I did. Okay, so what I might do is go ahead and glue it. And that means I'm going to put the glue on here real good. And then I'm going to put some of my ruffle down so that it okay. Now I'll glue this one in. What I would say is it's better to have your ruffle a little too long than it is to have it too short. So you might want to just go ahead and make a really long piece. Now, once you get your ruffle on there, it's only glued on part of the back. So we're going to put a straight piece of another color over the edge of it. And I think I'm going to use some of this blue. And I'm just cutting a piece about a 1/2 inch wide. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to chat. Did I miss something? But Ruby, that's fine. If you're still working on your envelopes, that's hunky dory, because I'm going to be a minute catching up too. So but what we're going to do is we're just going to put this piece half on our ruffle and half on the paper, and that will glue our little ruffle down. So basically we've just created a little ruffled edge on our pocket. Okay, and you're going to do that to all 4 edges so that your pocket is, when you reach into your pocket, you're reaching into that ruffle. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and finish up my, yeah, I've got hangover stuff here. I'm going to go back and finish up my second envelope. Okay. I sometimes get lost as to where I am. Oh, I had something I was going to talk to y'all about. Do y'all ever write yourself notes and then not be able to understand what you wrote about? This is a note that's been on my table. And I have no idea when I wrote that down. It's just been on the table. This makes a lot of sense. To look at the bigger picture, visual vocabulary must have both the technical and the creative parts. That makes total sense to me. But this word, and it's CHIAROSCORO. Mary, do you know what that means? Because I had to look it up to figure out why I had written this down. Oop, Janet, yeah, at least somebody out there does it. I honestly could not remember what that word meant or why I had written it down. I was totally at a loss. I'm waiting to see if Mary knows what it means, because she's... Now, does anybody else know what it means? Somebody else might know. And I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Okay. Oops. Can you see it, Mary? Wait just a minute. I have to wait for my screen to catch up. There we go. No, there we go. Janet is spelled CHIAROSCORO. And like I said, there's no way I can pronounce it. But I did look it up to find out why I had written it down. I thought it was interesting. Yep. That's right. Nope. Mary, and it's a very interesting discussion about a type of art where the lights and the darks are, it's mostly light and dark in a painting. There are some of the grand masters who painted that way. And I must have been watching maybe a TED Talks or something like that I saw that on and wrote it down to look it up. Yes, Beth Ann, the concept of light and dark. That's the way the explanation put it. It's the light and dark in a painting, the contrasts of them. But I was surprised that I had written it down and I could not for the life of me remember where, and I still don't know where I saw it that I would have written it down. Because in a TED Talks they wouldn't have spelled it out, so it can't be in a TED Talk. It was something else. Yeah, it has to be something I watched or read, Becky. And it could have, it could have been something I read too, No more sneaky test questions. Okay, Mary. Well, Mary, it's just that I thought maybe you might. And Beth Ann got it totally right. No, Elise, we only do one side of each envelope, and then we're going to put ruffles on each of the 4 edges. Oh no, dear. Never. Never, Mary. Never, never, Mary. I couldn't even explain it after I started to talk to you about it. Elise, does that make sense that we're doing... We're putting the base on one side of each of our pieces of paper, and then we're putting the ruffles on 4 edges. Mary, I do it every day. Elise, did that make sense though, hon? Okay, good. All right. Sometimes I don't know if I say things in a way that other people can actually understand me. Oh. Lisa's not here. Lisa Elaine and Lisa Elaine is here, and another Lisa was here, but not Lisa Conway today. She must have had something that she had to do. Jerry's, yours coming along okay? Oh, my fingers. Ugh, ugh, ugh. I feel like I've been playing in the mud. It's amazing how good playing with the glue makes you feel, though, doesn't it? Oh, Jerry, that's okay. Jeff's been trying to get me to help him, and I'm like, well, I can't today now. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's right. Our little tiny bathroom, and I mean, it's a little tiny bathroom. It's less than 4 by 8 feet. We're down to the sink. We have to get the sink in, and the sink has to come in, and then I think the mirror and the towel bars and all that stuff has to be put on the wall. Sherry, if you don't like the ruffles, don't put the ruffles on. Period. It's yours. Now, the ruffles were to add some color. So last week we added color with some circles and things like that. Now I'm going to put my focal points on here, like kind of like so, afterwards. So whatever you want to do to add some color to go with your focal points, Sherry, that works fine. If you don't like the ruffles, don't put them on, because this is yours. You know, it's just about using something. Now, the thing you need to remember with your focal points is that your pieces of paper are folded in half, like so. So you're going to want sort of 4 focal points. Yes, if she could, Janet, she could put circles up the side. She could just put a piece of this, and it doesn't have to be a straight line. It could be torn edge. It could be, it's just to add some color, Sherry. Okay, good. Mary, I'm going to tell you a better one. I know nothing. I really and truly, I honestly don't, most days do not feel like I know a thing. There are so many things in this world, and I am a lover of many and master of none. Oh, I'm about to get it. Oh, Becky, that's a cute idea. Okay, Barb, give me a second, and let me see if I can help. Let's just put that up there. Oh, my fingers are all sticky. And Mary, I agree. You can learn nothing, and learning something is the most fun in the world. Okay, Barb. Let me think how to explain it. It's kind of like an accordion fold, but the first fold is like an accordion fold. But the next fold up, you don't want to fold even with this. You want to just fold it, say, 1/4 of an inch. And then you go up 1/4 of an inch from there and fold it down. So instead of folding it even with the last piece and making it like an accordion fold, you're folding sort of where it doesn't go all the way back down. It actually, the fold is where the front fold is. I'm sorry, I guess I should have thought more about how to explain it. It's kind of like stair steps. There we go. I can't show. Let's see if I can show it to you. Okay, let's see. See how that looks? It's kind of like on the order of a stair step. And when it folds, now if we had a sewing machine, I'd sew along this edge right here. That would be cute too, if we were using our sewing machine. Barb, is that helping at all? Yeah, Janet, illuminated borders. There you go. Barb, I know you'll figure it out, but you're, you know, if you're not getting it, somebody else might not either, and I'm trying to figure another way to explain it. I learned a long time ago in teaching different kinds of classes, especially teaching sewing classes, that if someone's not getting it, usually it's because of the way I'm saying it. It's not that it's difficult, it's that I'm saying it in a way that they don't understand. And that if I change my language, then sometimes it's easier to figure out. There, that one's done now. Oh, look, I left a little spot. It's right where the little American Legion thing pokes out. I have to leave that there now. Let me think. Okay, let me get some more pieces so that I can... Okay, so, oh wow, that one's real fat. Oh, that one's thicky. Oh, okay, Barb, I trimmed mine. When it wasn't straight, I trimmed it off. Barb, I know you have tools. If you happen to have a cutter, cut your strip straighter, and that might help. Because you do need to keep the edges lined up as you fold, and the fact that I didn't cut my strip straight did make it. Okay, that's try that, because maybe if your strip is not straight enough, it's causing more trouble. And then try to keep the edges of your strip lined up as you fold it back and forth. And that part's boring, so I'm going to take it off. Okay. Ew. That's good. And I may have kind of made my strip straighter by telling it what to do instead of allowing it to do something. When I glued it down, it may be more ruffled than I think. And I did let my ruffle hang over the edge a little bit. Janet, when you made your pockets, did you use a ruler to line up your little ruffles in your pockets? Okay, let me see if that piece is long enough for the other side. Okay, Becky, that works. Becky's going to use washi tape down hers. The idea is just to add some color in there. And look, see, it's still too short. It's amazing how long you need, how long a piece you need. Okay. Janet, that's... Now, when you go to glue your ruffle down, do make sure that you don't get glue on your other ruffle. Oops, that piece is not stuck. So, And I kind of lined my ruffle on this side up with the ruffle on the other side. It doesn't matter, it's just... Okay. And like I said, you gotta have something to put down over this little edge, because otherwise your ruffle is actually more like a flip book. Oh, that might be cool too. Hmm. Well, that one's really not straight. Okay. How we all doing? Everybody doing okay? And I'm going to make an adjustment to my ruffle over here, because it was really not straight. There we go. So now I have ruffle on both of the outside pieces. And now I'm going to get ruffle on my inside pieces after I trim it off. Uh-oh. Yeah, Barb, that will do it, especially if it's in your fingers. If I have worked real hard making beads and then it's cold, I have... I'll get just a minute and I'll show you. And Barb especially. It may be out. They were out. My fingers were bothering me the other day. These are they're kind of my adaptation of fingerless gloves. A friend made me these. They apparently they wear them for yoga. Okay, it's to keep your wrists warm, but that does not do anything for my fingers. So I made these. They're cotton, and they're filthy. I need to wash them. They're cotton stretchy stuff, kind of like a t-shirt. And I just took my hand and laid it down and then drew around it and then sewed it up. And it's snug, it's tight, but it comes clear up my fingers because mine hurt right here. And then I put these on. Because the other day my hands were cold, and if my hands get cold, my knuckles hurt, my fingers hurt. Yeah, that's right. Lace or ribbon would work too. Hi, Diana. you know, guys, just because I'm making this totally junk does not mean that you have to make yours totally junk. The idea was that I wanted to make sure everybody had the proper supplies to do it. Because if you don't have something, you've got junk mail. So now see, this one's going to go in here, and I want to put my ruffle on the two sides right here now. You know, Janet, I have an elbow now. It's worn out, so I can't say that I have it anymore. But I had one of those copper sleeves for my elbow, and it did help a lot. It didn't help enough to eliminate having to have some shots in it. But it helped a lot for a long time. But do you like the copper gloves, Janet? I'm guessing yes. And do you don't wear them to bed, do you? Copper fit for hands and feet, and my daughter has the one for her knee. Okay. I had the one for my elbow, and I wore it a long time, but eventually the elastic wears out. Is what happened to mine anyways. So, I'll have to think about getting some of the glove ones. That would be really good. I can't, of course, wear anything like that when I'm working. I can't have anything on my hands I don't wear anything that's not cotton at all. Frankly, I only wear cotton when I'm working. It's kind of a rule. My clothes look terrible. You know, I teased about Jeff's clothes being awful, but when I make beads, my clothes they're so ready. Finding a 100% cotton sweatshirt is almost impossible. Well, great, Janet. Janet, are the ones for your feet, are they compression socks? I'm having trouble with one of my ankles again. I'm having to wear compression socks, and believe me, they're not comfortable. Okay, Becky. How's everybody doing with their project? Barb, is the ruffle coming out any better? Now that didn't work so well right there. Oh, these ruffles got smaller. That's funny. They're really pleats. And from the looks of it, it's curving, so I'm gonna have issues, I think. Mine's gonna be like Barb's. I'm gonna have a crookedy one. Okay, Barb. how high up do they come on? I know, Janet, this is a really strange question, but how high up do they come on your leg? Do they come all the way up to your knee? Barb, this one is going to be very crickety. I'm going to have to do some trimming on it, I think. I definitely think it's got an attitude. Right here in the middle, it's got a definite attitude. There we go. Awesome, Jerry. Be careful and have a great afternoon. Thanks for coming. Up to your knees. Okay. Just above the ankles. Huh. Barb, do you think you jinxed my ruffle? No, I think it's just the way it is. Haven't made the pocket yet, Sherry. We just have two pieces. One folded with our design on the outside, and we're folding one with the design on the inside. And bye, Jerry. We haven't got to the pocket yet. Huh, Janet, I'm going to have to check those out because it's been a while since I got mine. It's, I haven't needed it. I had to have a shot in my elbow, so I had to have several shots in my elbow. And because of that, I haven't needed. Sherry, we're just working on getting this part all decorated first. I haven't actually put the pieces together yet. If that makes sense. Uh-oh, there we go. That's just... My ruffle was not ruffled when I laid it down. And it's too short. Okay. I need another piece. Okay, let me see. Okay, all right. Thanks, Jerry. I'm really glad that you're liking it. I really am. I'm glad everybody seems to be having fun. That's the most important part. As long as we all have fun. Okay, come on now. You need to tuck under there. There we go. There, Barb. See, I adjusted its attitude. Ruffles are not allowed to have attitudes. Okay, Becky. We're still working on our ruffles. Huh. Sherry, that's... Well, usually this does... My ankle and leg does this in the hot weather, and for some reason it has decided to do it in the cool weather this time. I don't think I like that color at all. But it's just swollen. It's just... But, Sherry, my hip used to do that it would hurt way worse at night, in the middle of the night, than it ever did during the day. I thought that was the weirdest thing. I could walk and do all kinds of things all day long, and then when I laid down at night, it would hurt. Okay, I have one more ruffle to go. Focal image. Oh, Mary, you have quite a, I actually sat down and got out some things ahead of time this time. Oh, Mary's leaving? Oh, Mary, oh dear. Mary, you're leaving? Bye. Bye, Mary. We'll see you later. I missed her leaving. Oh, dear. Okay, I have one more ruffle to make. And I think I really like this image. It's really too big for most things, but I really like that image, so I decided I would try to work around it, but I wanted the color from the page. Let's see what's going on. Okay, sounds like a deal, Janet. Yeah, I'm going to make my last ruffle here. Get this part done. Let's glue this together ahead of time, though. Uh-oh, stuck it down. I'm starting out with a long piece this time, so that maybe I don't have so much trouble. Now, do you guys want to see how to turn it into the pocket next, or do you want to put your focal points in next? And I hope that that next door neighbor is not making too much noise for y'all. Sorry about that. She can't stand to have a leaf on her driveway. So, of course, she can't stand to have water. When it rains, she sweeps the water off the driveway too. So. Eva, those copper things that Janet was talking about, I really thought it helped my elbow for a long time. I had to have shots in it, but it did help a lot. Now, I have hip issues too, and I've had several shots in my hip, and they didn't last until I started doing, there's this new kind of stretch, and and when I started doing that stretch, and it's a word I can't pronounce. If you message me, I'll look it up for you. Well, hello, Mrs. Chris's World. Okay, focal points for Elise. Okay, we'll do focal points next. But Eva, that stretch, I can't tell you how much it changed. It totally changed my hip. It's not hard to do. You can do it sitting in a chair. So and it's just a stretch. It's just about getting that one particular muscle stretched out of there. But I haven't had near the back trouble or the hip trouble or anything since I started doing it. Okay. Stick. Come on. Let me get my last little piece on here, Elise, and we'll go on to focal points. Mrs. Chris's World, I think this is the first time you've been here. We're doing something that requires almost no store-bought supplies. It's called a Totally Junk Journal. And I started it because I hear people say, well, I don't have this or I don't have that. And so we're making something fun with our junk mail. And we're using different techniques and different things to make it. Okay, I've lost my little scrapey card. Here it is. Okay. Excuse me just a minute, guys. Okay, now, guys, if you're working, can you stop for a second and pay attention here for just a second? Can I get everybody's attention? Yeah, Eva, that's what mine was. And I will swear to you that this stretch makes a huge difference. Okay, guys, what we have now is we have 2 pages, and they're not, this isn't pretty on the inside here. Okay, Becky. And so we have, if you don't have your ruffles done, that's okay. I just want to explain where we're headed. Because when you put your focal points on, you want to remember that these pages are not going to be side by side unless this is the very center of your signature. Likely they're going to be tucked in here with something else. Let me get this sorted out here. Something else in between them, like so. so that as we turn, we see this page and then this page. And then further in the book, we see this page. So we want to put 4 focal points on. So each section here is going to get a little focal point. And I didn't put a lot of background on this time because this space is kind of small. Yes, Eva, please just either email me. My email's usually in the video, in the videos, at the bottom of the videos, my email is there, but also on Facebook. You know where to find me. So anyways, I'm going to add some different focal points, and I'm going to add 4 of them. And this one may be all by its little lonesome. I haven't decided. But basically we have 4 pages here is the thing. Now, another thing though is that if you have a giant focal point like this one, it can be put in the middle. Just remember that you're not going to see the whole thing. So like if I put this like this, which is maybe what I'm going to do, this I'll see it'll look like that. That's the page I'll see. Okay, Janet, we're talking about adding the focal points and the fact that we actually have 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4 that we're working with. So we're just going to add our focal points. I need a fresh page here. And if you add a focal point across the gutter, you want to remember that it's not going to be the full piece. The other thing you want to remember about adding a focal point across the gutter is that it's going to fold. So you might want to fold it as soon as you get it glued down, everything glued down. You might want to go ahead and fold it again so that sometimes it creates a crack, and if you fold it while it's wet, it won't crack so bad. Like right now, if I fold it, then it stretches that while it's still wet with the glue, is what I'm trying to say. And I think we'll just put it up there like, no, I don't like that. I'm going to put it on there. And you do want to kind of burnish down your focal point a little bit because remember that this has got texture to it. Okay. Where are we at? I missed something. Okay. Okay, Janet. Thank you, Janet. You know, when you have pretty little images, that does help. I happened to find a stash of Birds and Blooms magazine at Jeff's dad's the other day. So I had one that I could cut up. Okay. So there's that one. And I think that we will put this let me put that one clear over there like that. Okay. You're talking about the ruffle, right, Joan? Kind of like a waterfall fold. That would be that would kind of be what I would think it would be called. Janet, Becky, can either one of you think of a better way to explain that fold? It's more of a pleat than a fold, is what. Yeah, I would say that, Joan, that's the way you could look at it. It's like a waterfall fold. And it's really more pleating it. If I were sewing, that would be a pleat. It's like a pleated skirt. Yeah, it's pleated. It's really what it is. It's pleated. If you were to make a pleated skirt, that is how you would make it. They would be folded like that. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Uh-oh, I just tore my focal point. How about that? One nice thing about it is glue fixes everything. Great, guys. I'm really glad that it's making sense, at least. Ugh, my fingers are awful. Okay. Now, one of the things I noticed is that when I put these together, my ruffles are definitely uneven. And I kind of don't like that. See how this does that? So I'm going to trim it off. Now, if it's there a little bit, I'm not going to worry about it, but it just was a lot. Okay, let's see about the other side. Now, the other side I don't mind because I kind of like it because it's got color on it. I think the other side I didn't like because it was text. Okay, now in the past, I better work on that folded. In the past, I have gone around my focal points with a black pin. It just makes your focal points stand out a little bit. See here? So I'm going to do that. And I had been using a micron pen, but I hunted up this pit pen, and I think I like it a little bit better. It just gives me a little bit more width to my. It's a heavier pen, it's thicker. And it's a brush tip pen, so it just kind of went around something I was doing the other day better. Thanks, Janet. Now, like Janet said earlier, and Becky's gonna do, instead of this ruffle or pleated edge, you could always put washi tape over there. You could just put down a piece of colored paper over there. You could put some lace over there. Piece of fabric over there would be cute. But since we're trying to use our junk mail, that's what I'm using as my junk, is an old magazine so that it's on the order of using the junk. Once you finish reading the magazine, instead of going in the recycle bin, it gets turned into art. Janet, I am going to stitch the top and the bottom closed. Yes. So that is a side pocket. That's a very good question. I'll stop this for 1 second and show you where that's going to be. Maybe I'll put some glue on it too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these together like this, and I'm going to glue right here. As a matter of fact, let's just do it, because if the glue, then once the glue dries, then it will be done, and then I can stitch it after the fact. So what I'm going to do, this is the outside piece, like so, and I'm going to put glue all right here. And all right here. Now, if you're not going to do any stitching like I'm going to do, you might want to use a different glue. Just FYI. Use aqua glue or tacky glue. Yep, blinger buttons. Okay. And then we just glue it in like so. And now we have pocket right here. Well, see, my glue's not stuck, so you don't want to go sticking your hand in it too much, but you'll have a pocket right there. Now I'm going to finish putting the edges around I'm going to finish drawing around. Okay, guys, make sure that when you put your pieces together that they're right side up. Okay, so that this one is right side up and this one is right side up. Yes, a hole punch works fine. I'm going to poke holes in this with my little punchy tool. But make sure that your focal, since we put our focal points on already, make sure your focal points are right side up before you stick things down, because otherwise you've got your pocket upside down. Okay, but then once I get my outlines done, I'm going to stitch this like we stitched last week. However, I've got some hangover I don't like. In other words, I'm trimming again. There we go. All right. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to stitch this up in just a minute or two. I just want to do my focal points real quick here. Anything you add, this is your book, so there really and truly there are no rules. I just have been trying to show you a little bit of a different technique each time, something that you can use to do something different. This would be real cute with scrapbook paper, that's all printed. It'd be cute to put pleats in with fabric, pleated muslin or silk ribbon or something. And Janet, somewhere I have a 1/16 inch hole punch too, so that would have worked real well to stitch things the other day, but I forgot to get it out, so I didn't. Okay. That butterfly just needs some added attitude here. I may have to hunt up another pin. There we go. I know his body is supposed to be brown, but there we go. I like him better now. Yeah, I have a 16th inch hole punch is what I have. I think it's in my show stuff from when we did bead shows, because I used it to make hang tags and holes in my cards for earrings. I used a special kind of laminated card that I made to put my earrings on display, things like that. And I think that's where the hole punch is, and I just didn't go through those tubs to get it out. There we go. One of the things too is when we glue those edges together, if you are not going to sew them, using tacky glue is a good idea. But if you are going to sew them, using tacky glue is not a good idea, because tacky glue, one of the reasons they call it tacky glue is it stays a little bit rubbery, not really tacky, but it doesn't dry real dry. It dries and has a flexibility to it, and that can sometimes make a problem when you're sewing through it. I got real quiet, sorry guys. And I'm not paying any attention to chat. I hope I haven't missed anything. Oh, Eva's going. Bye, Eva. Guys, make sure, my, no giving up, Ruby. No giving up. I'm pretty sure it's better than you think. Eva, make sure you check the Facebook page for the things we need next time. Yes, Joan, I made the glass beads. Now, I didn't make the tiny ones. I made the yellow ones with the little blue dots on them. That's about the smallest bead that I make. I'm glad you like your earrings. But yeah, I make the beads. One of these days I'll have to try to set up. It's not the easiest thing to video because, you know, the torch flame is kind of an odd thing to have in a picture. It doesn't necessarily work real well. Eva, I'm so glad you had fun. Okay. Okay, now I am going to, just like we did last week, because I want to make sure that my edges stay together for my pocket. See, because my pocket is here, I'm going to stitch it. So I need my pokey tool or my punch, and I'm going to poke holes along this edge and along this edge, about 1/4 of an inch apart. Ruby, I'll bet it's better than you think. I really do. I really think it'll be better than you think it is. Ugh, my book doesn't want to stay open today. Okay. And I'm just poking holes about every 1/4 of an inch. And the reason I'm poking the holes ahead of time is because I don't want to kill my hand trying to sew through these, and it's not working very well. There we go. Maybe that will work. Yeah, that works better. It's about the way you get positioned with your pokey tool. Okay, now that one didn't want to go through, and that's probably because there's something heavy behind it. Now I'm not going to sew clear out to the edge of my ruffle because the ruffle goes beyond where my paper is. So that's about as far out as I'm going to go. Oh, sometimes it gets stiff right there. And whatever you do, be careful. Don't poke your finger. That, Janet, is why it would be better to have the punch. Because this thing is sharp. It could go through your fingers. Joan, I've been making beads. I think I figured out the other day. We're going on 20 years here. I started making beads when we were in Nebraska, so it's not quite that long, but close. And I was working in a school. I worked in a behavior room, and I got to the point where I wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. And I told you know, we didn't have to have my income, but it was nice. And I told my husband I wanted to try to make beads and make money at making beads, and he said to go ahead and do it. So I did. And it had grown and grown and grown and grown, and the last few years I had to have Jeffrey helping me at the shows because some of the shows were too big for me to do by myself. He was still working, so we would have to drive out and drive back, but we did it. And then we got in a wreck, and that kind of ended that, so I've been doing it on the internet since. So now, Janet, I don't know that I'm going to, I don't know. Down here, I don't think I want things dangling from it because that's at the bottom. So I may leave strings at the top, but not at the bottom. And I used up my little scrappy the other day, so I think I'm just going to use some of this. So everybody must be working because they are all very quiet. I cut way too much thread. And I should know better. Oh well. I'm going to leave a tail though so that I can sew through it or tie it when I get back here. I'll just tie it and not leave a long stringy one. So, and I'm just going to sew it like I did last week. If you want to sew it with a different stitch, there again, you can do that. If you want to sew it on your sewing machine, you can do that. Make sure your glue is completely dry before you do that. Because we don't want any glue on our needle and stuck in our sewing machine and going down inside. Great, Barb. I'm sorry that they were frustrating. And Joan, we had a discussion. They're kind of like pleats instead of ruffles, and maybe if I had said pleated, see, I told you if I used a different word, sometimes it makes more sense to someone. So I should have said pleated, not so much ruffled. Barb, did you hear after your ruffles though you put your focal points on? Let's see, Mary, no worries. Okay, no worries. That's what we want to hear. It's supposed to be fun. Mary and Jerry have gone. Eva's gone. Can't remember. Somebody else left. I'll have to remember to look in a minute. Oops. I cut enough thread probably to do both sides. I don't know what I was doing. Okay. I swear this takes a long time, and it's really not something that should take all that long. And another reason I'm sewing this pocket too is consistency and what the journal pages kind of look like, you know, to even if it's a different thread, even if it's the reason I'm using this, continuing to use this background instead of changing up my backgrounds and using scrapbook paper or painty paper. I'm continuing to use this background. I'm sorry, I stopped to read chat. Becky's still here. It's a thing about making a visual connection between the pages in the book. That's the reason I am continuing to use the same background, and I'm going to stitch and that kind of thing. And yeah, Joan, it's always there's always a different way in words. December daily, do you mean, Joan? Okay, my take on what a December daily is that you have a journal, and every day in December you write about the days that the things that are going on in your life in the month of December. December is a family time, and it's a lot of times there's a lot of activity, and it's a way to remember the holiday. It's a way to remember. It's kind of a journaling thing. And then that's usually an art journaling thing. There's adding pictures and things like that. That's my take on a December daily. Becky, Janet, Mindy, some of you others, can you give Joan your take on it? And I have never done a December daily, so that would, you know, I'm not the best person to ask that question of. But that's my take on it. Okay, that's really good. My thread just shredded right there, so you're gonna have to see what we can do. Oh, good, it's the, yeah. All I can do is cut it, and if it doesn't, if I don't have enough thread, I'll have to tie it off and try it again. Okay, Janet, good. Yeah, Becky, I know I would not fill it up. I mean, now I do have to admit that for us, December's not a whole lot different than the rest of the year. Um, we see family when we see family, and I don't decorate, not anymore. I there are no young children. Um, we quit decorating a long time ago when Brandon moved out of the house. So I mean, I used to, even right after Thanksgiving, I changed out my dishes in the cupboard, and we had Christmas dishes until Christmas. But once your kidlet gets all grown up and he's not home at all, and uh, we'll have a big family dinner and we'll enjoy each other's company for Christmas. But we don't exchange gifts anymore. I send little gifts to my nieces and nephews, but that's about it. Um, I don't, we just don't do a lot. So for me, to do a December daily would be no different than writing a journal every month. Yeah, um, I'm sorry guys. I have to shift my vision. For one, I'm wearing my glasses when I don't normally to do this kind of thing. And then when I have to look over to see the chat, I have to really look to see it because my eyes have gone a little fuzzy. Um, yeah, Becky. I mean, Jeff and I, we we enjoy the month just like we would enjoy anything else. But um, as far as a tree or a lot of decorating, I think actually I have a Christmas ornament that's hanging in the living room still, that's been hanging there since last Christmas. My mom makes each of the kids, each of the little nieces and nephews, her grandchildren, so my son's part of it. Um, she makes each one of them a handmade, embroidered Christmas ornament, and because of that, she usually ends up with a test one, and I get the test one. So it's it's one of those things where I think that the ornament from last year is still hanging on the TV stand in the living room. That's about the sum total of Christmas decorating I do. I'm not I don't do a lot of decorating. I never have. A lot of times I don't put pictures up. I'm very bad about that. I did put pictures up this house. I haven't put a lot of art on the walls yet, partially because we don't have furniture everywhere yet. Okay, that was really not good. That just broke. Well, it looks like, no. Shoot. Okay, that was an interesting thing. I pulled that and it broke. So yeah, we used to go. That was the other thing, Joan. When we were in South Dakota, we would go to see Brandon. So it was one of those things. We weren't even home for Christmas, guys, because this broke and I'm not sure the knot tied really good. I am going to put this liquid glue on that right there, and then I'll put some on the back when it dries. Uh, okay, Barb, you're catching up real well. And I have to get my little jacket. I'm actually cold again. Um, you would think 72 would be warm, but it's not. So now I'm going to try to do that again without breaking it. I think I because I had so much thread, it kind of abraded it. I shouldn't have had so much thread. Well, hello, Susan. Were you not here earlier? I thought you were here earlier. For some reason, and I don't know if Sharon is still here. I can't thread this needle with my glasses on. Isn't that pitiful? I know my fingers are just sticky enough from glue that they don't want to let go of the thread. There we go. Okay. Now this time I am going to leave some relatively long strings up here, so that if I can manage to get through this without tearing it all up again, the thread, I will tie some little doodads to the strings. Some little dangles, something like a bead or something. I'll probably just put little flat circles on it again like the last one. Just consistency kind of thing. I might use book pages this time with some color in the middle. That might be what I'll do. No. Okay, Susan, I don't know. I was there. Sharon, I think there may be another Susan here, a different Susan. So, anyways, I'm glad you're here. We're making side pockets today. Uh-oh. Okay, it's really, I can't sew anymore. It's just, Becky, did you get your round robin box sorted out? I knew earlier you said you were, it sounded like you were having a problem with them. I'm not sure that that's what you meant, but it sounded like it. Oops, I have to have my glasses back. Yeah, I'll bet you it was Susan Baker's. Susan Baker may still be here even. I don't know. But yep. It might have been Becky. No. Okay. Well, I hope it's not a big problem. Anyways, Susan Gerald. I think Mary calls you Susan J and Susan B. We've about got our side pocket spread done for our little Totally Junk Journal. And I'm going to have to learn to do Instagram, I guess. I have an account. I have a Twitter account. I just don't use them. Well, hi, Jen and Mindy again. Okay. Are you trying to figure out where they are? Okay. Oh, dear, Barb. That. Uh-huh. Well, and I know she said she got some fabric for them, Barb, so she has seen them. Just don't know how recently she's seen them. Okay. Yeah, Susan, I glued the edges here. We used 2 pieces of paper, the same size, and several of us used envelopes. Just because I had 2 the same size, and that was about the size I wanted to use. So we used junk mail envelopes, and then I glued the bottom edges, but then I'm stitching them. When I did, I don't know if you saw last week's project or page. Just one second and I'll get it out. This other one didn't need sewing, but to hold it together, but I sewed it together to just to give it some interest around the edges. And see, it's a top-loaded pocket. So this is, we did, let me take this out here. We did this one last week, and it's just a top-load pocket, and it's all done on a junk mail envelope. And then we did this one the week before, and it's just done on a big piece of junk mail. And as far as sewing goes, it's just a sort of a wraparound stitch. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just sticking it in there and wrapping it around, and I'm hoping that my thread lasts to the end, because if it doesn't, I guess I'm going to be tying it off and starting a new thread, because I'm not going to take it out. The little one, you like that one? In my live stream last week is when we made this one. This is a continuing project, Susan. Let me get out the things. And Susan, I don't know that you've joined my Facebook group, but we're showing these off in my Facebook group, which is called This, That, and Chat, Journals, Mixed Media, and More. And what you have to have, these are the basic supplies. Okay, and I'll leave that up for a minute, so if you want to do like a screenshot or something. And these supplies are actually in, hi Lisa. Okay, great, Ruby. Ruby's got her pocket glued. I'm getting there, Lisa. Anyways, give me a second, Lisa. Hey and hi, and I'm glad you're here. But Susan, this is the list you have to have for the first page. Then each week before we go, I give you what you have to have for the next page. Like the little envelope top load pocket is an envelope from the junk mail, pokey tool, thick thread, needle with a big eye, plus all the basic supplies. Okay? And I do start at noon. But the front page and the top load pocket are already there in the last 2 weeks of the my live streams, and they're marked live streams, and the supplies are in the description. Oh, Becky, were you giving Lisa her time? Shh. Oh yeah, Susan, the whole point of this was that I hear people say, I don't have that, or I don't have this. And then, okay, let me move this out of the way for a minute. I did run out of thread. So I wanted to do a project that everybody could do, everybody should have it. I have consistently, even though I'm not fond of a glue stick for a lot of things, I have not used anything but this glue stick, or a glue stick so far. And all of this is junk mail, and I mean basic scissors, glue stick, junk mail. Now the last week we added needle and thread, and some kind of thick corded type thread is what you need. I'm gonna run that under there before I poke it. I used what did I use last week? I used pearl cotton last week because I have a lot of it. Okay, embroidery thread, something thick. Book pages, magazine images. The basics are book pages, and security envelopes. Okay. And each week I might ask you to get something else, and when I ask you to get something else, I don't want to add to a big list. I mean, I said you needed a pokey tool for last week, and granted, I have a pokey tool, a book punch, whatever. Janet used a tiny little 1/16 inch squeezy punch because she had one, and I have one too. I just don't know where it is. Not this big fat one, but one that pokes a tiny little hole. But if you didn't have this, you could use a giant needle or an ice pick or something like that. So I'm trying to choose things that everyone will have or that you can substitute with. Okay, and Susan, I'm going to try. I did something new. Lisa, you weren't here to hear me. I actually am recording this video, so hopefully, if it works right, I can edit and actually put up a video where you don't have to hunt through the whole thing to find the instructions, if that makes sense. Because not everybody wants to sit through the whole live stream to catch up. That was my thing. And the other live streams, dang, I'm getting worse and worse at being able to thread a needle. The other live streams, you have to watch the whole thing, and sometimes you don't want to watch the 3 hours of video. Yeah, a compass point, yes. Oh, that's a really good idea, Susan. I'm glad you gave me that one because, of course, I don't know that I have a compass anymore. But that would work. I mean, there's so many things that would work, and now let's put this knot on the other side. Yeah. I didn't make a long enough thread, so I'm having to add a thread in here, which is, not a big deal. But each week when I add something, I try to add just things that we would have or things that you could substitute. And we made a paper pleated ruffle to go on here today, and I'm using magazines for the color. A push pin. Oh yeah, Mindy, that would have been a really good idea. Push pin would work really well. So see, I want everybody to be able to do this even if you don't have any supplies. That was the point of the whole the when I started the project, that was my goal, is to kind of get through it. Now, I am going to add a couple of supplies here and there. Most everybody that's been on here will have what I'm going to ask you to bring next week. There's also things, Susan, that you're supposed to be looking out for, and as soon as I finish this, I'll talk about that. But Lisa, we made a side pocket, a 2-pocket side pocket thing today. So let me get, if I don't put my needle away right away, I keep losing them. This package had 5 and now it has 3. And I'm sure that, you know, it's there, it's here somewhere, I just don't know where. Yep, Ruby, you can use floss. That will work perfect. Floss works great. I actually had some floss out somewhere. I had some embroidery floss. This is, I don't know, it looks like it's wool, but I think it said it was cotton. I don't know what it is. This is pearl cotton. I used, today I used cotton crochet thread. Anything that's heavy enough to give it some bulk, Ruby. A thumbtack, yep, that would work. Although a thumbtack might be hard to get in and out, in and out, in and out. Okay, since I cannot close this because that's still wet. But this is what it looks like. I'm just going to hold it open. And I'm going to put some little dangles on here. And I decided a minute ago that what I'm going to do is make them out of book page. And I'm just going to cut some circles like I did last week, sort of. Okay, so I got some circles. Now I want some color, and I really liked this color right here, so I'm going to cut some more circles out of this color. And I want these circles to be smaller. Okay. I keep trying to take this end of this glue stick off. Uh-oh, I missed something. Okay, did I miss something big? Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Lisa, yeah, you've got, I mean, there again, if you don't like this pocket, you don't have to make it. Another site a woman glued on. Oh, yeah, you could stick put a needle in cork, that would work real well. Yeah, I know, guys. Yeah, Susan, perfect yarn from sheep haircuts. That's a good one. I had never thought about sheep being having haircuts. That's true. Um, the big thing is that, what was I going to say? Oh, about Sundays. Yeah, it's not the best choice, but it's the one that I have that works. That's the big problem, is that um, for me, by the time I get done with my day, evenings just don't work very well. I'm just making some dangles, guys. I'm just gonna put them on my little strings. And I wanted them a little more decorated than just one layer this time. Yeah, I would think so, Janet. That would work. Didn't, oh, Mary put hers in ink. She used ink and put it in. You could probably draw it across an ink pad too, Ruby. I think Mary put some ink out on her table, and that's when, and to make hers. Okay, now I'm going to put glue on the back side of these. And put them on here like so. I would think you could with shoe polish. Now, I would think it might take a while for shoe polish to dry, because does shoe polish actually dry? That would be my only concern. Now's a good time. Well, it's the one time, Susan, that through the week that I can be pretty sure that we can do this. Now, we had family in a couple weekends ago, and I couldn't be on because they changed their plans as far as when they wanted to eat was all. Originally we were gonna have dinner, and that would have worked fine, and then they decided that they were having lunch. So, that's just, so I had to cancel, sort of. I just came on for a few minutes and said, hey, I'm not gonna make it. But we all have times like that too. Yeah, thanks, Barb. The shoe polish might be messy. I'm not sure about shoe polish. Okay. I'm done. I can't close it because that's sticky. And that's because I broke my thread, but that is my new side pocket piece. Who all is, I'm gonna just open it back up so I don't accidentally stick it together. Who all, hi Dawn, again, I knew you were here. How are you guys doing? Barb, how are you getting close? You think, Janet, you don't think it'd be messy? The shoe polish is what we're talking about, guys. Yeah, Lisa, this one came out really cute. I think it came out really fun. A couple people had a little problem with the pleats, but I called them ruffles, and Janet called them pleats, and that might be a better description of them. Okay, just putting some beads on, Elise. That sounds good. Well, I don't want to rush y'all. That's the problem. I do not want to rush y'all. Thank you, Dawn. I mean, it's going to take us a little while to make, but that's okay. I don't know. Dawn, were you here earlier when I showed? I'm using envelopes in mine too, as far as, let me put that up there where it's not. And Susan, I don't know, I don't think you saw this. This piece and this piece we've made to go in it, but I want some paper to write in, so I'm going to use some envelopes in here in between my pieces, like so. To have pages for journaling on, for journal spots. Ruby, yeah. Yeah, when you have grandchildren, I imagine, you know, if that ever happens for us, we will start decorating again, but thanks, Dawn. Yeah, Lisa, I think this one came out fun. It was fun, and would you guys be okay if I went on before you finished? Because I want to talk to you about a few things for next week. That's boring. It's boring down here. Becky's sure, and Barb says go. Ruby, you okay if we go on? Mindy's just listening, right, Mindy? Okay. I gotta find this a safe place because I had to glue that, and I'm gonna put it over there. Then I have to get my stuff out. Okay. I have a mess on this table again. Okay. Well, Ruby, I hope that we can, that you can hear and that I'm not stopping you from getting your stitching done. We all know these are our basic things and we need them every time. And I'm not going to go over that again. I will post it down below though, Susan, so that even though you've read it, you see it. And I'm going to continue posting each week's down underneath. For week 4, which is next week, we're going to make tags. We've made pockets twice now, so now we're going to make some tags. So we need some chipboard or tag board that is package weight, like cereal box weight. Cereal box is even heavier than you have to have. This one is for, oh, I cut the front, I've used the front, see. Hi, Gloria. Yep, back just in time to find out about next week. This is a little bit lighter weight, but it will work just fine. But you want some cardboard. This one happens to not have anything on both sides. It was off the back of a pad of paper. You kind of want one that is plain on the back side. Okay? Now, if you don't have that kind of cardboard, packaging type cardboard, I told you to keep an eye out in your mail, and I'll bet you we all get one of these. This is cardstock weight advertising. You can use this, but the problem is that there's no white side for writing on. So what you'll end up having to do is put some white paper over the back side. Okay? So if you don't have, and if you look around, I'll bet you come up with some of this if you don't keep it like I do. I even finished up these pieces today. This is shipping labels, and I used the last one out of it. So it's perfect weight. So you want to have some kind of cardboard. Okay. Then you want, let me put that up there, an ink pad of some sort. Now, it doesn't have to be a distress ink pad. It doesn't have to be anything specific, and if you want it to be a color, that's okay too. It's all in what you want to use, but you can use any kind of ink pad. I've got these tiny little distress inks. I've got a full set of these. Now, the other thing that you want with your ink pad, I have a dauber, okay? Oops, I got stuff on my page. I have that dauber, and I have a round dauber thing that it works for these. Okay, you do not have to have a dauber. A makeup sponge would work. And I had a makeup sponge somewhere that I was going, of course I can't find it on my desk now. Well, they've disappeared, but you guys know what the little angled makeup sponges look like. If push comes to shove and you don't have any of that thing, you can use your finger. Yes, Janet, and no. Because they come in sets, there's a lot of these I don't use. There's colors I've used quite a bit, and then there's colors that I don't use hardly at all. So, you know, that's just the way it works because they come in sets. Okay, so we're going to have an ink pad and even a dauber or a makeup sponge, or like I said, if push comes to shove, you can use your finger. You could probably use the corner of a paper towel even. So we're going to have that. And then there's one more thing that you're going to have, and I forgot to put it on the list, but Mary, if you see this, do not tell them what it's for. Okay? Mary, don't tell them what it's for. You need a plastic bag. This is just well, this one came from the thrift store. If you have a colored one, that would be cool. I didn't have a colored one. All I have is the white one. I'll be watching for a colored one, but when I went to pull it out to tell you what you wanted, and you guys may have already guessed what we're going to do with this, but you're going to need this plastic bag in addition to your other things that we always have. So we need a plastic grocery bag. And that's for next week. And we're going to make some tags. Now, Susan, since you're new, and Dawn, I don't know that you've watched the whole time. There are some things that we need to watch for. The cereal boxes, keep your eye out for another one. And because we're going to use this one up, we may need another one. Then a big cardboard box. And I told the girls, it needs to be big, pretty big, because we need some big chunks out of this cardboard box. So keep an eye out when you go to the grocery store or when you're in somewhere. And I want you to have the big, the thick corrugated cardboard. Then a brown paper grocery bag. Now, if you can't find a brown paper grocery bag, you could use a lunch sack or something like that. If push comes to shove, you can use a piece of paper. That's the thing with this. And then single-sided junk mail. And Susan, by single-sided junk mail, I mean, and even the envelope you can open up. Just a minute. I had a piece. Of course, it's gone to the bottom. It's in Never Never Land. Here we go. This piece of junk mail was printed on the front, but not on the back. And a couple of things I want to do. This will give me a writing spot back here. Let me see. Susan, the colored one might be fun if it's when you see what we're going to do with it. I don't want to tell you what you're going to do with it. That's supposed to be part of the surprise. You know, you can bring a brown one and a colored one to the table. And if it's the plastic bag you're talking about, again, the colored one might be fun. Yes, Dawn, that's the whole thing, is that we have most of us have this stuff, but if you don't, then you can hunt for it. So, and these things that are, let me see if I can get this all in. Let's see. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you guys might not be able to see it all. They are in the description box down. I try to put them in the description box, and I also have posted them on the Facebook page. What was I going to say? Oh, the images for next week. You know, you need some focal images. Your images, and I probably should write that down. Your images might need to be smaller. Because we're going to make tags, so you probably don't want giant images. Good idea, Susan. Bring two of everything. You know, it's just, the thing of it is, when you see what I do with it, you may want to use a color, or you may want to use the distress ink in the brown or the black or something like that, and that's totally up to you. Oh, I didn't put that up a little higher maybe. I can't think of what else I was going to say. I think I've told you all of the things for next week, and I've to be on the lookout. And Dawn, yeah, the whole point was, like I said, to do with what we've got and to not need a lot of supplies. Okay, can anybody think of anything else I need to tell y'all? I'm trying to think. I really like how this came out. This came out real cute. And the size of your tag is going to depend on the size of this that you use, because if you had used a sheet of copy paper size stuff, your envelope would be bigger, your pocket would be bigger. So and Dawn and Susan, Becky asked me a couple weeks ago about how big the cover was going to be. Yarn or string, yeah, Susan, the threads that you need are going to be, if you're asking about next week, we don't need yarn or string. This type thread is the only thing we need in our stash so far as thread goes. Dawn, if you're playing along and you want to, we've been showing off all the different pages in my Facebook group, this is the name of my Facebook group. Okay, I told you smaller images, plastic grocery bag, tag board, ink pad. That's all for next week. Okay, Becky, you're live tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 7 Eastern. Okay, Dawn. Oh, I know why. I'm not reading everything. Sorry, Dawn. Lisa is live tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Lisa's live tomorrow. Is it 7 or 7:30? And she is Central Time. (7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much, Janet. Well, yeah, see, I'm in Florida, but we are in the Central Time section of Florida. So, yeah, Dawn, I forgot. Did you not get you didn't get to page 2 then? That must have been it. I'm going to finish up and go because sooner or later I'm going to have to fix some food, although I think my husband was supposed to go to the grocery store and I don't think he did that yet. So I'll have to figure out what's going on out there. I'm going to go ahead and read you a quote. And this is my quotes from 1001 Ways to Creativity. And I really kind of like this next one. Go further than you think you can. That is where you will find creativity. Go further than you think you can. That is where you'll find creativity. Guys, I'm really glad you came and that you spent the afternoon with me and that you're having fun with this project. And I'm so glad you're here, and thank you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon and evening, and go enjoy your families. And I love you all. Thanks so much. And I'm going to go. Bye-bye.